Gentlemen, I'd like to call the Tuesday, December 12th Committee of the Whole meeting to order. It's time now 6:25 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Here. Councilman Burgess. Here. Councilwoman Bailey. Here. Councilman Maldonado. Here. Councilman Ross.
Here.
Vice Mayor Shelley.
Here.
Mayor Porter.
Here. Any additions, deletions, deferrals? We're going to defer the sickle cell discussion. No, I'm just saying that's the only one we're deferring.
That's the only one.
Okay, so the tab 7 is deferred. If we go to tab 1, it's the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion? Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Tab 2 is Mr. Manager.
Mayor, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development has significantly revised the assessment of fair housing requirements in connection with the consolidated plan process. The process of assessing fair housing now requires program participants to assess 4 fair housing issues: patterns of integration and segregation, racially or ethnically concentrated areas of poverty, disparities in access to opportunity, and disproportionate housing needs. HUD recognizes the significant level of effort that will be required to successfully meet the new requirements and encourages collaboration in order to share the cost and workload of the process. The attached memorandum describes in further detail the collaboration process. Mayor and Council made a motion to proceed with the collaboration agreement in the Committee of the Whole meeting that took place on November 28, 2017. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing City Manager to enter into a collaboration agreement with Miami-Dade County for new assessment of fair housing in substantially the form presented.
Questions from Council? Ms. Fairclough?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Quick question. I wasn't at the Committee of the Whole meeting when this item was brought forward. My question is, and it's not that it's a bad thing, but why was the City of Homestead selected as one of the municipalities to work on this project?
My name is Calvin Knowles. I'm your block grant consultant. Well, it wasn't so much that we were selected as we were having a conversation with Dade County and with HUD. And there were a number of communities which are listed here, 8, 9, or 10, who really wanted to cooperate with the county because the process is basically like doing a whole other consolidated plan just for housing. And frankly, a lot of communities were very concerned about the level of effort it was going to take. And the county, I talked to the community development director at Dade County, Mr. Liu, and he basically invited the city. He said, you know, you're welcome to join us. And we spoke to the county.
But Calvin, just to be clear here, everybody's got to do it anyway, but you can do it on your own or you can go with the county, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
so I think the issue was everybody's got to do it. The county was the process that seemed to be less of a burden for the city, and more collaboration seemed to be more beneficial.
Much more beneficial, and now the Homestead Housing Authority is going to join us, which I think is great. And it's also going to save money, and it's going to save a lot of staff time.
Right. No, but I just wanted to know, was there any data or income levels or poverty levels that triggered the City of Homestead being a participant as it relates to collaboration?
No, ma'am. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, not for that item.
Thank you, Mayor.
Excuse me, Mr. Maldo. Sorry.
Yeah, so that was going to be my question. Is Homestead Housing Authority participant, and then at what level are they kind of leading our efforts or on our behalf?
No, the way it works is Dade County is the lead agency, and each participant has a role to play that's an equal role. There's 2 levels to it. There's a regional analysis, which is what Dade County would be working on and do most of the heavy lifting on that. And then each participant is responsible for a jurisdictional analysis. So after the regional analysis is done, then each of these participants, including the City of Homestead, would go in and do their own jurisdictional analysis. And they're all equal underneath the regional analysis. And just to clarify as well, I mean, Dade County is not going to be in a position where they suggest that you do any particular course of action. It's entirely up to the individual participants how they choose to enact these requirements.
That data the data that they're looking for, that they're going to acquire, are they going to see our staff for that, or is that going to be through surveys, or is it, you know?
No, the data exists now. HUD uses census data, and they extrapolate census data using different formulas to find all of this. So the idea is that you don't have to create any new data unless you want to. You might want to do surveys of landlords or residents. That's certainly allowed, but the majority of the data, 98% of the data exists already, but it is extremely cumbersome. So.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
All right, sir. Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion? Is there a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 3.
Mayor, the City of Homestead receives a community development block grant allocation each year from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. At the end of each grant cycle, the city is required to prepare the CAPER and make it available to the community for public comment. Staff recommends Mayor and Council authorize the city manager to submit the fiscal year 2016-17 consolidated annual performance and evaluation report, the CAPER, to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development as presented.
Questions from council? Is there a motion? Ms. Fairclough?
Thank you. I had several questions regarding this item, but in all fairness to Carlos, I didn't have time to meet with him to discuss the items, and I didn't want him to have a conversation over the weekend, although he agreed to. Family time is very important, so I didn't want to burden him with that. But one question that I do have, just to follow up, I understand that the Homestead Soup Kitchen didn't meet their target of meals being served. So as a result, there will be funds that are reprogrammed, surplus funds. When do those funds have to be expended? Because you had indicated that you'll bring it before us in January or February.
Hold on.
Okay, sorry. Right, well, so what's left over from that, they were allocated $49,640, and what's left over is $15,251. And so the time to use that as a public service to serve meals, that time is over.
Right.
So this money can't be used for public services, so it'll have to be used for some other eligible purpose. And to answer your question, when must it be spent? There's really no deadline on it, but
Okay.
I could foresee coming back in January because we have a number of these activities that have some funding left over. Like the other public services, like Start Off Smart, there was a balance of about $2,400. And then the final public service we did this year, the YMCA drowning prevention program, was $2,900 left over. So we pick up these scraps and come back to you and get your direction on how you want to proceed.
But I'm a little confused because once we had money that was repurposed, surplus funds, reprogrammed, should I say, and we were going to utilize it for senior services, but we didn't get a vendor, an operator,
Right.
to be able to implement that. And that's public service.
Right, and the reason, you're right, we were trying really hard to get that done within that fiscal year. So what we did is we came back to you within the fiscal year when that would have been allowed. But we ran out of time. I mean,
That's why.
we ran out of time. Yeah, we tried really hard to get that win in the wire, and it just was not, the proposal just wasn't there.
Okay.
So.
And how much do we have left over from your consulting fees?
My consulting fees, well, we normally budget, I don't know
Was it
exactly.
115? 115,000?
I think 115 is what was spent.
No, 112, 113 was almost spent.
I mean, 115,000 is usually what's allocated for
Right.
administration, but that's not just for the consultant. That includes legal, advertising, and other items. I think what we expended in 2017 was about $112,000. Going into the new fiscal year, just so that you're aware, because there's going to be fewer activity because of the Section 108 monies, what we've gone out for the RFP, the amount that's going to be allocated for the consultant is going to be much less than that.
I would point out, and I don't have an exact number, but for the fiscal year that ended at the end of September, the amount budgeted for admin was $154,607, which would indicate to me there is a surplus, a balance remaining there. And so what would happen is the balance of those funds would get rolled over into these public service balances as well as any others we might find along the way and come back to you.
So because we will be outside of the fiscal year, they have to be used towards the facilities.
Anything but public services or admin.
Okay.
Yeah, admin, you don't lose money in admin, but you lose the ability to spend it on admin after the year is up.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I always ask a lot of questions with
No, that's
CDBG. You know that. Because it's just very important to me because the money is used with vulnerable populations. So I'm very, very diligent with my study of this, and I ask a lot of questions. But I do have more. So we'll ask and answer those questions at an appropriate time.
That's all, ma'am?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions? Is there a motion? Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 4.
I beg your pardon, this is actually a public hearing.
We have to open this up to the public?
Yes.
This is a public hearing. Anyone would like to come speak, you're welcome to come at this time. Close the public hearing. Tab 4.
Mayor, the lighting levels at the Harris Field Park baseball fields have become low and need replacement. The project will remove and replace all the lighting at the Harris Field Park baseball fields with the new sports cluster green system, which comes with a 10-year warranty and light level guarantee. Staff recommends Mayor and Council approve the attached resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Musco Sports Lighting LLC for the upgrade of the lighting at the Harris Field Park baseball fields for $271,500. This was approved as part of the capital improvement project, and it's number 804.
Questions from council on tab 4? Vice Mayor?
It's a question. I mean, the lighting levels at the field, I mean, they're to the point where they can't properly play, or they're unsafe. How do we determine that they need to be replaced?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. What we do is we have studies. A company comes in, Musco Lighting, and what they do is check the candle lights. And you should be at 50 candle lights. So what happened, what we did was we did the Orange Bowl at Harris Field first, and then did Dick Conley, which the candle lights were very low. So we did the CIP, and this is the same technology. And then we did the baseball next, which was lower than what the standard should be.
Okay. And the reason I asked the question, I guess, is I know that we've had multiple discussions over the years about, lighting and soccer fields and other things like that. So the question is, when I was reading it, it's not just replacing the light bulbs. This is almost brand new poles from ground to top, right? So this is essentially a brand new lighting system.
That's correct, Vice Mayor. And what's great about it is that the technology, we can turn it on and off with our phones. It indicates us when a ballast goes bad, our lighting, and of course the 10-year warranty. Parks and Rec, most of their funding is repairing the lights, the sports lighting. When they get older, the ballasts blow faster, the lighting, and we spend a lot of money in our budget to repair this every year. So us now seeing with our CIPs, our goal is to get all the sports lighting out, especially when we get a 10-year warranty. It's going to save our budget a lot of money.
Yeah, no, I support the replacement of lights if they need to be replaced. I think it's great to go to a newer technology and something that's got a 10-year warranty. Just the question is do they need replacing, or should we be looking at this for additional lighting for other places such as soccer fields, or is this where the money needs to be spent right this minute? That's why I just wanted to ask the question.
I think right now the safety of the candle lights is more important right now.
Okay, that's what I needed to find out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Any other questions from council? Is there a motion on tab 4? Is there a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 5.
Mayor, on November 3rd, 2017, the city went out to bid for the line sets and weights project for the Seminole Theater, with Stage Rigging Services, Inc. coming back as the lowest responsible bidder. This project will be funded by the State of Florida Department of State Division of Cultural Affairs, $500,000 cultural facilities grant. Staff recommends mayor and council authorize the city manager to award ITB 201803 to Stage Rigging Services for line sets and weights installation at the Seminole Theater in the amount of $45,400.
Questions from council? This is so you can fly people around like Peter Pan?
Mayor, it's for the stage area, for the curtains and all that. And this is part of the culture grant, so this is one of our, our wants that they needed, so that's what we're getting it for.
No Peter Pan, then.
No Peter Pan, sir.
Peter Pan, sorry.
Let me know when we do Peter Pan.
Yes, sir, you'll be the first one to swing.
Any other questions? Is there a motion on tab 5? Move it. All in favor? Motion carries. Tab 6.
Mayor, Homestead Hospital is planning a leadership development training for its leadership staff. Homestead Hospital is a nonprofit organization. This event will not be open to the public. Homestead Hospital is requesting Mayor and Council authorize the city manager to approve a waiver of usage fees in the amount of $1,300 for the use of FICO Williams Community Center Banquet Hall on February 21st, 2018 and June 20th, 2018.
We've done this before, haven't we?
That is correct, Mayor. They've been doing it for a few years, so we have waived them about every year for them.
Questions from council? Is there a motion? Moved and seconded, all in favor? Motion carries. Tab 7 has been deferred. Is there a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Motion carries. Good night, everyone. Thank you.